Hi everyone, this is Jane here, just doing a little bit of a craft with me session, but I have a little mini haul I thought I would show you. I got these little velvet ribbons. I can't remember how much they weren't very expensive. I thought they'd be quite cute to use on some journals that I'm working on, and I've got these little frames which I think will work really well on the little mini journals that I do. So that's those. I'm working on this journal at the moment. Just doing the decoration inside here. So I'm gradually working through that one. So that's one I'm working on at the moment. But what I thought I would do today, because I don't know about you, but I find things like Gesso and Mod Podge and all of that malarkey quite kind of it's difficult to know what's what with them and which is which, and whether they work well with different things, different mediums. So I'm kind of just hoping that I can move things around on this desk so you can actually see properly what I'm doing. Just see if I can sort that camera out a little bit. That looks a bit better. Good. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of Masterboard work. So I've got a Masterboard that I've started, because I thought I won't do that on camera because you guys know exactly how to start a Masterboard, I'm sure. So I've done that up ahead of time, and I was watching a couple of different Masterboard videos, and they seem to be, well, one that I was particularly watching was Let's Make It Out of Book Page. And I kind of didn't really want to make it out of Book Page because I like the effect that the book page has, but you have to lay down a lot of layers of book page to get some kind of sturdiness into it. So I didn't do that. What I did was I got some mixed media paper, and this is like an A3 piece. So that's what it's like on the back, and stuck my book page on with glue stick. So I use glue stick because if you use Mod Podge, it will make wrinkles. There are still wrinkles in this one as well. But I think that's just because I didn't quite get I didn't cover everything enough in glue stick. So did that first. I just thought it'd be really handy to be able to write on the back, you know, if I'm going to use them as, what's the word? Journal cards and things, kind of need to be able to write on the back. So I thought this was a better plan. So I'm just going to stick that down because that was coming up. Right, so that's what I did to start this off. And then what I thought I would do, because I don't know what you guys, if you're not very experienced with things like this, and I still consider myself a beginner artist, knowing what to use, what mediums to use, what does what the effect will be, you know, what is clear gesso in comparison to white gesso, and all of that stuff can be a little bit confusing. So what I thought I would do is I've stuck down the book pages over the top here, and I have on the top part of this Masterboard, I've used Go Create Decoupage Base Paint, which is clear gesso, I'm told. So that's what I've got on the top bit. And what I have on the bottom is white gesso. So that's on this bit. So up to here is the clear gesso. Down the bottom is the white gesso. So as you can see, the effect's quite different. This is much smoother, it's clearer, and yeah, has a sort of clear effect. This bottom is much rougher, and it's got that white, so it's all knocked right back here. You can still see that it's book page, and you can still see really roughly what it is, but it's actually all in German, this, so I couldn't read it anyway. So this is all kind of quite rough. This is quite smooth. This is not, this is transparent. This is not so much. So what I thought I would do is to play with some of the things that I have and see what the different effects are like when I put them on top of the different types of gesso. And I just thought it'd be fun to just muck around, and then I can cut this up and use it as a masterboard, or, you know, just use it as an experiment to see roughly what these different effects look like. So I thought the first thing I would do is try some distress crayon, because that's what I have handy. So I just thought I would try a little patch of it and see what it does. So with these distress crayons, you can rub them in. So you can actually smudge these guys around. So they just make a kind of smudge, for want of a better word. So let's use the same down here and see what effect we get on the more matte version. See if it's the same or not. I do think these distress crayons, you can use water to kind of activate them. So what I might do is go and get a little bit of water in a second and see if it makes any difference. So it's kind of, if you see the difference, this is quite dull in comparison to this. It's a little bit different. It's not loads different. I don't think it's loads and loads different. Let's try a bit of, let's try a bit of turquoise for a change. Okay, let's have that. I just put a little bit there and a little bit here. Just kind of smear it around and see. So it's much easier to smear it, but it doesn't stay where you put it. It will go much further. This tends to stay a little bit more central to where you've put it, although you can spread it out a bit more. What I might do is I'll try that with some water in a sec. I'll just go and grab a little bit of water and we can see what effect it has. Let me see. We'll use a bit of pink. So we'll do pink without water here. And then pink here, and I'll put some water on it. And we'll put pink here without water, and pink here. I'll put some water with it. So give me 2 secs to quickly grab a bit of water. Should have come prepared, didn't come prepared. Okay. So I haven't actually tried this with these distress crayons, so may or may not work. We'll see. It's always good to have a little experiment though, I think. So I'll plop that over there for now. Right, so where were we? I'm just gonna, this is the pink effect on the clear gesso. And this is the pink on the white gesso. Let's just see what happens when we put a bit of water onto this. I don't know whether I need to be rubbing it in or whether I just need to be putting the water on it to see. Interesting. Not quite sure what's happening with that, really. Kind of feel like it goes a bit more like, almost like a watercolour type of effect. It's quite cool. It's quite cool. So that's the distress crayons that I've got. So those are the effects that we can get with those. I like working with those distress crayons. Don't know why, they're just really quite fun. So I'm going to also have a go with some gelatos, and what I'll do is I'll stick to some similar kind of colours. We'll use this blue. I love this blue, and you can go there. And let's try this one. I quite like this one. And we can try brown as well. Maybe a bit of pink. See how we get on with those. Right, so these are gelatos. These basically seem to be, to me, kind of like, a bit like lipstick. They've kind of got that sort of texture. So this is the gelato on a transparent one. This is gelato on a matte one. With a bit of pink. Bit of pink here. Bit of pink here. I'm kind of just chucking down blobs, really. This is like the kind of rose goldy sort of colour. Let's plop that there. That here. And then I've got like a browny kind of gold, so I'll pop this up here and down there. Let's see what we get with those. Now, these I tend to just rub them in with my fingers. There's probably a better way of doing it, but that's what I kind of like to do. So that's the effect that you're going to get with on the clear gesso. This is the effect that you'll get on the matte. It's just that bit duller, isn't it? It's just what depends what effect you want, I guess. So we've got here I should have a baby wipe somewhere to wipe my fingers, otherwise we're going to get the colours all mixed up together. Maybe I'll just use different fingers for now, because I'm not quite sure what I've done with my baby wipes. So this is the pinky coloured gelato. This is a pinky coloured gelato as well. It's rather cool. And then we've got this kind of rosy goldy effect. And this is a rose goldy effect on here. And this is the brown. I think the browny gold sort of kind of disappears a little bit, but it is there. It's kind of like a metallic-y type of effect on there. This just goes a bit more like old paper coloured, I would say. So that's all the different effects that you can get with gelatos and what's the word? Crayons. So let me just put the gelatos away, because otherwise I will lose them, and I don't want to do that because I really, really enjoy playing with them. I don't want to lose them. So that's the pinky one. Goes here. And that's that. What I really want to get a whole set of these gelatos and get all the different colours. I don't really need all the colours, but you know, when you just think, oh, I want all the colours, because they're just so much fun. So I just thought I would also try, I've got these watercolour pens. So what have we got that we haven't really got very much of at the moment? I just want to try a little bit of, I don't know why, I just feel like I want to try a little bit of green. So let's just put a little bit of green. Let's see what that looks like across here on there. So I actually think the green watercolour pen stands out more on the matte than it does on the clear. Let's have a look and see what we could do. A little bit of pink. As you can see, my art is not brilliant, so just going to draw some little petals. Oh, that one's a bit big. Just make these ones a little bit big so that this petal down here doesn't feel so huge. Put another little one in there. A little one in here, another little one in here. So as you can see, no expert artist going on here. Let me just get a little bit of yellow. I make a little bit of a centre. It probably won't show very well. No, don't think that's going to show very well. What colour could the middle be? Maybe we could have a green one. That might show up more against the pinky stuff. So yeah, let's give it a little stem. Let's go off here. So that's quite cool. And what we could do, let's get the pink again. I'm not sure if this is the same colour that I had. But let me just, I'll put a little pink flower somewhere down here or on the matte one. Thing is, these flowers are not going to be perfect because I'm definitely not the best. The thing is, I mean, that one's really wonky, but if you hate it, you can cover it up. You know what I mean? If it's really not the perfect flower and you really wanted it to be the perfect flower, you can cover these things up. It doesn't matter. But I kind of think that they've got a slightly kooky sort of charm to them when they're all a bit weird and wonky. See, that one's quite cool because it actually looks like it might be looking the other way. So this would be the back of the flower. So that's the different effects that you can get with the watercolour pens. And watercolours would be the same as well. I thought what I would also quickly do while I'm here, don't want the video to get too crazy and long, but I thought I would just show you some effects if we stencil. So what colours have I got here so we don't have to get too much out? So I've got brown out, so let's have brown for a moment. I've got a brown brush and I've got a brown stencil. Just have a look. Just going to use the background part of this stencil and see what it looks like. So I'm just going to use this little section here, which is like a background. Sorry, you might not have seen that. This little section here. So I'm going to just, where shall I pop it? Let's pop it somewhere like up here in the corner. I use a blending brush when I'm doing stenciling like this. Find that these little plastic brushes are pretty cool when it comes to stuff like that. So this is just brown vintage photo ink pad, and if you do that onto clear gesso, you're going to get that effect. If you do it onto the matte gesso, you're going to get this. So as you can see, it comes up much, I don't know if you can see that. It comes up much clearer on the matte gesso. So you are going to get a much sort of smoother, almost like a quieter image on there. And a much more, what's the word? Vibrant image on there. So let me just see what other ink have I got on my table. So I don't really want to go digging around for loads. Right, okay, that will do. Tumbled glass with a blue brush. Right, okay. So here we've got tumbled glass. It's going to get plenty on my brush. And then just use this. Where shall I put it? Let's put it down here. So you could use a lot of these background stencils on a masterboard. So it comes out much duller on the clear than it does on the matte version. So just while I'm here, while I've got the stuff all out, I will just show you the other effect that you can do with the gelatos. So with the gelatos, you can kind of rub them out, if that sounds sensible. So this that we're using it all, these are like makeup sponges, but this one is really stiff, and this is the one that I really like the most because it's so much easier to handle. So what you need is, I think, a little bit of water from what I can remember, and then you can lift what's there. I can't remember if that was the crayon or the gelato, but you can see it's just sort of, I should have marked them with something. Duh. Okay, so that was definitely crayon. This was definitely gelato. So let me see what happens with this one. I think actually what I did it with before was a baby wipe. And you can definitely do it with a baby wipe. So that will, so you can see that that's sort of taking that off. Let me see if I can see how it works with this. Sorry for the squeaks. So it does sort of take it off. Let me see if I can find my baby wipes, because that was definitely better. Not quite sure where they are though. Things are always disappearing when you don't want them to be disappearing. I'm a very messy crafter, and so it's very difficult to keep track of where the things are. And I tidied up on my table, so I've probably put them somewhere thinking, I'll put them there, that'll be safe. I'll remember that. And then guess what? I don't remember that. So yeah, sorry, I can't find the baby wipes, so that's not helpful. But take my word for it, it works with baby wipes. Just gonna try and just see which one could I try with. This is quite strong here, so let's just try that. You know what's going to happen. I'm going to definitely find those baby wipes. The minute I don't want them, actually, guess what? I found them. Ha ha! They won for something else. Right, so here we go. Baby wipe time. Just grab yourself a baby wipe. Always come out in about 20 when you're trying to do it with one hand, don't they? Don't worry, I'll shove those back in. Get off. Right, okay. So now we've got a baby wipe. And the way that it works is like this. Hopefully you can see. When you use the baby wipe, you'll see the shapes start to come through. So let me just try with this one. That's the crayon, I think, which is why, that's the distressed crayon, which is why it's kind of gone woo. I definitely should have marked things as I was going along so that I knew what was gelato and what was crayon. That's definitely gelato because I don't have crayon. Oh, I don't know, was it though? Don't remember. Let's just try a bit anyway. If we don't like it, we can cover it over. Yeah, so you can see it starts to lift up. That was probably crayon as well, because you can see that it's lifting and it's starting to go. I don't know if you can actually see this. It's lifting and it's starting to form like little watercolory bits. So let's just, while we've got this out, just do one more up here with. It doesn't really matter. You could do any part, anything. Anything will do. A little bit there. And it just starts to lift. If you had like a whole, let's just say for instance, I'd completely covered one of these with gelato, and then I could lift all that off and, well, put a stencil over it and lift the whole pattern off, and you'd be able to see really clearly what I'm talking about, because at the moment with this I'm not feeling like I'm showing you very well what can be done, because I can't remember which one was gelato and which one was crayon. So that's not helpful. But what I could do is just try here. Get a bit of gelato while we've still got those out. But they've now disappeared. Aha, there they are. I have so little space here, so it just becomes really easy to just lose everything. I'm going to use this green, well, this turquoise. Let's put that back in there. And I'll do it over here so you can actually see a big chunk of what it would look like. So I've made quite a big space there. Nice big turquoise space. Okay, so then what you can do is get your stencil with this one for change. And we'll use this part of it. So you're just going to hold it down and just going to rub it over. So hopefully now that will all show. So you can see it's started to, I don't think it's that clear. So, you know, I don't know whether maybe that's because it's the clear stuff or not. So maybe what we could do is get a little bit of pink while we're here in Pink World. Rub that in. And then we'll try and do the same thing here. See if it comes out any clearer on the matte surface. Because it might do. Yeah, I think it does come out a bit clearer on the matte surface. So that's kind of where I'm at with using different things on different things. That tells you nothing. So using different mediums to form the base and then what it looks like with other things on top. Excuse my phone. Okay, so that's stopped. Excellent. So that's just a little bit of a, I thought that would be fun to just have a little bit of a fun experiment with what we could do with what. And I might continue to decorate this, put some stamps and things on it. Might come back and do that with you guys as well, if you would be interested in doing that. I might do some more kind of watercolour-y things as well, because that's quite fun. I'm not very good at it, but it is quite fun. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that this has helped. I definitely know that I would have liked this video if to be there when I was kind of thinking, what shall I do? Shall I get clear gesso? Shall I get white gesso? What's the best thing for me to get? Shall I get Mod Podge? All of that kind of stuff. It's, you know, if you're new to it, it's just like a massive, great big, God, who knows what they all do. They all seem to do different things, and I don't know what I want them to do. So at least this has given you a bit of an idea of the difference between clear and matte gesso, and the effects that you would get if you put things on top of that. If you have liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a share, give it all of that kind of lovely stuff, and I will speak to you all again soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.